Hi guys, my name is Michael B. Judkins, and I'm going to be talking about my second collection, the Interlude to Sentimental Me, which is the second series of the Sentimental Me collection of my poetry. The Interlude to Sentimental Me is very personal, and it a personal collection in the sense that it's a full length collection. It's a collection of poetry of 40 poems, and I devised it into two acts. So Act One is actually the Heart of Love, where there's us mostly the section of that particular section is just talking about a lot of different love situations, love stories, inspirations of people falling in and out of love, seeking love, wanting love, yearning for love, the love of a best friend, the love of a mom, the love of your partner, the love of a significant other, the love of the art of what you love to do. And that I wanted to devise that and called it the Heart of Love because it's basically shows that sentimental side of me as a writer and how I emotionally think, and to create that on paper. The second act, which is called Welcome Mercury Rising, is a bit of my alter ego. It's the performance mic. It's the performer when I do open mics, or it's that stand strong motivational side, and it has very strong pieces in there that creates an ambiance. It creates the feeling of strength and determination and willpower and inspiration to move things forward in your life, and don't allow circumstances or life circumstances to keep you from living your dream. And the Welcome Mercury Rising Act 2 displays that in its writing in that part of the Interlude to Sentimental Me. And it's an amazing, to me, I think it's an amazing pieces. It touched on, some of the poems touch on rape, some of the poems touch on abuse, some of the poems touch on just finding your inner voice. I stepped outside my own box doing this collection and really writing something that would be universal to different people at different times in their life, and really trying to capture, maintaining my readership I have now, but also capturing a new readership as I grow in my writing and poetry. So I collectively combine these two acts, the Act One, the Heart of Love, and then the Act Two of Welcome to Mercury Rising, to kind of give my readers a sense of two sides of me as a writer: the performance mic and the love mic, where most of my fan base so far knows me as, and just exploring different territories as far as with the writing. So it's an experimental book for me, so to say. It touches different genres of writing. I did some prose, I did some poetry, I did some short story writing. I did, basically, I looked at some of my inspirations as like Walt Whitman is a huge inspiration as far as with his writing. I follow him a lot in his writing, and just to inspire to write like that. And so I took some of that inspiration and kind of try to create this story with it. And even from the imagery, from the book cover, when, walking into the forest with the tunnel, that's the Interlude to Sentimental Me. You're walking into the unknown with this collection. You're walking into getting to know me as a writer and getting to know some of my backstory. And one of the fabulous things, one of the great things about this title is that, I'm so happy to have Rain associated with it just as a supporter, and which is the Rape Abuse Incidents National Network. And just, having that information and contact information there within the title of the book to help somebody who reads it, if they know somebody that's going through these situations in life, whether it's rape, whether it's abuse, whether it's emotional abuse, physical abuse, or any of those type of situations, that they have a number to call. And there's a program out there that would help. So it's very important that I include that with this book, and I'm very excited that they allowed me to include that in this book. So I'm very grateful for that. And so, yeah, that's where this title's going. I'm actually looking forward to performing it. I'm actually looking forward to sharing it. I'm looking forward to just doing some great things with it. I'm going to also be doing certain of the poems I'm actually going to be doing animated videos from. So over the next couple of months, there's going to be certain poems that's going to be like a lyric poetry poem with graphic. Working with a designer, just sketching out some stuff now. So I look forward to a nice year of promoting this title and just trying to just get it out to the masses, and hopefully everybody get to read it and enjoy it, and as much as I took to write it, and share this particular part of the story, and get a greater sense of me as a writer and where I'm coming from as far as my backstory and me exposing myself a little bit. Basically, me exposing myself and me taking that chance and stepping outside my head and stepping outside the box and allowing myself to be vulnerable, allow myself to be questioned as a writer, and just growing in this process. I believe the Interlude to Sentimental Me really opened my eyes up to the possibilities of where I want this start of my career to go, and really moved me enough to say, like, hey, I think I got something here, and I think I should continue on this path of writing it and developing it. So that's the Interlude to Sentimental Me. As far as the actual creative process of the writing of it, the idea formulated the second part of the Interlude to Sentimental Me formulated right after I finished the first chapbook, the introduction, probably like within 6 months. So I would say by mid 2015, I already started developing the concept of Interlude to Sentimental Me and what did I want to include into it, and what I wanted to portray in this collection. And the writing part and putting everything together, I gave myself, I wouldn't say I gave myself, it's always a continuous effort. It's an everyday process for me. So, as most writers or most poets or different authors and whatever genre you're in, you're always thinking like, what is it you want to write, especially when you're in the creative process side of it, not the business side of it. When you're in the creative side of it, you're just trying to put together the ideas, how you want it to flow. Is it going to make sense to your reader? Are you going to engage them? I never write, as much as I write for myself, I write also for people, with people in mind that's going to read it, to get something from it. So in total, I would say this collection probably took me about 5 months to write. And that was just more in the sense of from writing a title down one day to maybe 2 days later writing one paragraph down and then doing an edit, and then coming back to that title after I finished maybe a third poem, and just drafting different ones at the same time, and just really creating the theme of it. And sometimes I'll just sit down and an idea will come into my head, and I would just write one word with just a title. And as long as I have the title on a piece of paper, I can just sit down and just write the piece where I want to go. And that's usually my creative process. I usually will start with a title. I usually start with the idea, and then I'll write the name of the title, or write the title down on a piece of paper, put it away, come back to it, and have the idea of how I want to create that piece of art. And that's the creative process to it. And it's so funny that I'm promoting this one. I'm already thinking about my next title. So it's always, everyone motivates me to just improve and grow in this process. So that's me, and that's, the Interlude to Sentimental Me. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you have a good read from it. I hope you take from it what you need to take from it, and what I portray this message to be. So I'm extremely excited about this collection.